Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Coaches Show. I'm head women's basketball coach Mitchell Rolls. Today we have return guest Taylor Rietveld, getting everybody up to speed on this week. We've had a rough week here as a program. Lost the last two here, dropped to 21-3 and 6-2 in Panhandle Conference play. So not a great week for us. We got a lot of things to improve on. One positive from this week though, the boys have had two top 10 back-to-back wins now, so put them in a really good spot for this last round of conference. So, back to us, on Saturday here at home, we lost to Northwest Florida. I think we're ranked number 4 in the country at the time. We lost 69-66. You can be mad about losses when you miss 11 free throws, when you turn it over 18 times, you foul 18 times, and you get out rebounded. You're just happy to be in the game. So, we did not have a good showing, did not play well in front of the home crowd there for homecoming. Maybe the moment was a little bit too big, and we just didn't play hard enough. But not a good showing by us on Saturday. And then again, followed up last night with a loss at Tallahassee, 76-74 in overtime. Another game we get out rebounded, have almost 20 turnovers. So, we've got a lot of things to fix. I think every coach and player in the country knows if you're going to play that way, lack energy, have defensive mistakes, bad things are going to happen. So, like I said, a lot of things to work on here. I do want to give credit to those two teams, well coached, played harder than we did, and their staff clearly had them more ready and prepared for those two games, whether that was motivating them or the game plan or the scout. They were ready to play, and you could tell both teams were there to win the game. So, we've got to know that there's a target on our back, especially when we were in the position that we were in at the time. Obviously that position has changed, but there's a target on your back when you're at the top, and people are going to have that added motivation to come beat you. So we've got a lot to fix, like I said. Long list of things we need to fix before going into this third round. It's always tough to play people twice. You play them 3 times, it's pretty miserable. So it gives us a second chance here, though, to play everybody one more time. Hopefully assert ourselves with those 4 games as the top team in the conference, and hopefully win a Panhandle Conference championship. I think one thing that we're not doing well right now, we're not finishing games. We're close in games. We're by the scoreboard anyway. It's a close game, and we're not finishing well. We're not taking care of the basketball. Our defensive assignments, they tend to lack towards the end of the game. So, that's on me. That's on our staff. I need to do a better job saving my timeouts. Like last night, I felt like we were a little bit handicapped. I only have 1 timeout for the last 3 to 4 minutes. So need to do a better job having a good first half where we can save some of those timeouts and hopefully save them for the end of the game when it really matters. Decision making, ball security, we've got to work on that this week a little bit. So, we've got a lot to do in the next 2 days before we have Pensacola coming here this weekend. So just want to kind of turn the floor to Taylor here. I kind of talked about a few things. What do you think we should emphasize and practice and film the next 2 days?
I definitely think we need to grow our IQ when we're watching film. I think watching, of course, the whole game, but watching that fourth quarter and overtime to really see, where we could grow, better decisions we could have made. There was a lot of times where we took early shots we didn't need, and it allowed them to go back down, finishing plays, just doing the smart thing. And I think in practice, a big thing we could do is learning to help the helper. Serena Heron, she's one of our best helpers. She is our best helper, actually. And so when she leaves someone who we're deciding to help off, we need to have that extra guard in the back, making sure that that rotation isn't as easy.
Absolutely, and I think the late game decision making, that was really apparent last night. But then in the Northwest game, we had such a bad third quarter. So second half, we've really got to be able to come out of that halftime and have whether we're doing adjustments or whatever, we're sticking to the game plan. We've got to have much better second halves, through these last 4 games. Like I said, last round of conference, 2 huge road games out of those 4. One is going to be at number 3 Northwest Florida, and the other one is going to be at number 15 Gulf Coast. So got 2 tough road games. Obviously, Pensacola, Tallahassee coming here. Those are going to be tough games as well. What can our fans expect from our Lady Indians, after having kind of a tough stretch here in the second round?
We have to be hungry. We're gonna be hungry. We're likely out of the top 5 in the polls now, and that's gonna be a big blow for our egos. But I think we need it, and it should allow us to turn up in practice and really show how much we want it in games.
I like that answer. I like that answer. I hope we can see that the next 3 days and in through the next couple weeks because, it doesn't get any easier after that with the state tournament. So we've got a lot to work on. But it all starts this Saturday. We've got a big game here against Pensacola, another dangerous team, a veteran coach that has their team playing well. And they're known for knocking people off. So whatever their record is, wherever they're at in the conference, they're always a dangerous team. And they've got good basketball players. So we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's. It's another late start for us this Saturday. Usually we do the 2 o'clock time. It's going to be at 5:15. Okay, so we'll be at 5:15. The boys will be, about 7:15 there. So we need everybody out for that game. We'll get things back rolling and get on the right track with these girls. So thank you guys. Appreciate everybody that came out to the game last night. We did have a big crowd. Sorry for disappointing you guys, but we'd love to see you this Saturday. Thank you.